My name is Joe Woodham from Torii. Welcome to our vlog series on all things design. Today I'm joined by Telstra's Head of Digital Experience Design, John Lazzara. John set up the design capability at Origin Energy, hiring and building a team with a focus on customer goals and needs. He's currently managing Telstra's digital experience team of around 130 UX design, visual design, and content writers. From what I understand, that's probably one of the biggest experience design capabilities in Melbourne. Great to see you, John, and thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Joe. Great to be here.
What are the actual numbers? Are you at 130 or are you above that now?
We're above that now. Yeah, 175.
Wow, my numbers are off. That's huge. That's got to be the biggest.
Yeah, I think I need to update my LinkedIn profile. No, it is. It's quite large because we're Telstra wide, so we're not just only in consumer. We're in Telstra enterprise as well as media and P&T, so all the IoT types of products. So we're quite varied. So we're not just building kind of websites and apps. We're kind of going beyond that. So it's exciting, and the variation's really interesting.
Wow, how big was Origin? Like, it's a
lot smaller,
step, I'd imagine. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. How's the jump from Origin across to Telstra? Because it's a different beast.
The number of stakeholders is what's changed, I think. In terms of the methodology and the practice and the kind of the vision and the dream, it's all the same, whether you've got 4 people in a team, 10 people in a team, or over 100. It's all about ensuring people understand the value of design.
Yeah.
And working in with an operating process that makes sense for everyone. So product owners, designers, developers.
Okay. And just talking to that, going from Origin to Telstra, what's your journey been like as a design leader? Like, what's the biggest lessons that you've learned having to go from building a capability at Origin to managing a huge department at Telstra?
The biggest, it wasn't such a learning, it was more of a deeper understanding, is you need to surround yourself with the right people. One of my mentors told me once, and he's an executive in a global company, and he said that the trend for management he saw was that A-grade managers hire A-grade managers and B-grade managers hire C-grade managers. And so I like to think that I've hired A-grade managers. Whether I'm a B-grade manager or a C-grade manager, I don't know. You'll have to ask my team. But definitely surrounding yourself with the right people and making sure that they're actually all different and they have different strengths so you can support each other. So I've got a management team of 8 managing that wide team. And as you said, we're across visual design, UX and copy.
Yeah.
So they're all very kind of varying skill sets there.
This is just a question off cuff. Did you finally tune that at Origin and take everyone from Origin across to Telstra with you?
A few people have followed me across to Telstra after, I think it was about 2 years. They saw what I was doing there, and they kind of, we're trying to create that at Origin, and Origin's a great company. So, and they've won quite a few awards, especially with their app. So they're doing quite well. And yeah, there was just an opportunity. We had some roles there, and some of those designers decided to come across and join the team, and they're loving it.
Well, that probably answers your question a little bit earlier. Like, you don't know if you're an A-grade manager. People don't tend to follow B-grade managers, so you must have been doing something right.
Yeah, look, I'm very inclusive, I guess. I like to hear people's opinions, and then try and articulate a story to represent the team. The first thing I did was I created an internal vision for the team. So what I saw in the industry is a lot of design leaders were creating an external vision. So, creating radically simplified experiences that surprise and delight customers. That's great. But what I understand in terms of lifting the design maturity of an organisation, the design team needs to have an internal vision so they have influence. So our internal vision is to drive customer-focused business decisions through our design practice. So everything that we do, all of our frameworks, all of our conversations, all need to line up to that. Because you need to be able to have a conversation with a solution architect. You need to have a conversation with product owners, executives, ensure that their view is from a customer's point of view, take them on that journey, and then that's where you get the real traction.
Yeah. Well, that kind of almost leads into my next question. Like, what are the skills and attributes you're actually looking for when you're hiring a designer? It's obviously not just being a really good designer if they've got to communicate quite well with the product team.
Yeah, that's right. I hire first and foremost on cultural fit. So that behaviours and values. Want to make sure that the person is open and genuine and curious. They're the types of people that I want to work with, and everyone in our team. And I think we've really succeeded in on that. Our HR department actually has labelled the term brilliant bullies, and the fact that we want to stamp them out. And I think that's awesome, and that's my view as well. You could be the most amazing designer, but if you're difficult to work with, it makes it hard for us and the team and what we're trying to do here at Telstra and lift the profile of design. So yeah, I'm looking for people who obviously know the craft, but have that experience in stakeholder management, or at least have an open mind to learn how to work with people.
Yeah, no, that almost talks to a few years ago. You had the terminology rock star designer, and I think that's what they were back in the day. They were really good at their trade, but put them into a team, it was just very difficult to work the rest of the team around them, I suppose. It's nice to have seen, watch that get stamped out, I suppose.
Yeah, it is good. I think we've gone through, I think design as a whole, as an industry, has gone through a lot of change. We had to, I think we realized a few years ago that we, really did have to work with stakeholders a lot more effectively in order to get our message across and to drive that design maturity, because it's not just on us, it's on everyone. And what I love about Telstra is that it actually has taken the entire company through a Luma training program. So you may have heard of Luma. They're a HCD organisation based in the States. They've got awesome tools. So they've taken all the key people working on projects, so product owners, developers, BAs, designers, of course, through the Luma training program. And what that has done, it's created a language for us to use. So when we're using techniques or producing artifacts, we're all speaking the same language. And of course, because we're practitioners of human-centered design, people now coming to us to really understand how we go about it, how we run workshops, get involved in workshops. And I think that's what brings people together.
Yeah, very cool. That's interesting. You mentioned design maturity within organisations. It has come a really long way in the last couple of years. Have you had much pushback from the business since you've joined, or has it been quite an easy transition to get a lot of buy-in from the business?
It's been fairly easy for me, to be honest.
Wow.
I have at least two amazing executives who support me and this team and who really get it. So you've got Jenny Barnett, who came from Combank, headed up digital there. She heads up digital here at Telstra. She just gets it. She understands design, very focused on customer, very focused on data-led decision-making. So very supportive of our practice. And then we've got Mira Bashi, who's the head of customer experience, who I report to. And she's just amazing. She just cuts through all the conversations really easily, helps me articulate myself when I'm struggling. But yeah, she's a great support as well. And what I think is unique is that in her team she has a research arm. She has my team, which is the digital design team. She also has service design. So Telstra is really set up to look at an omni-channel journey and design view rather than kind of having it in pockets and being siloed. And I think that makes a huge difference.
Very cool. So obviously it sounds like the leadership from top down is quite good. What do you say sets Telstra apart from competitors as a great place to work?
Yeah, look, I think that in Australia, there are so many good design houses out there, so many great companies. The maturity has come a long way. So I kind of don't get too competitive with other organisations. So we do tend to share resources all the time and talk to each other and say, how's this person? What are you doing? What are your problems? But yeah, I think that, as I said, having the exec backing and them understanding that, design is all about risk mitigation is key. The structure as well. So in our team, because I own UX, visual design and copy, it really supports those base principles of, from a digital channel point of view, of easy to find, easy to understand and easy to do, because it crosses across all of those skill sets. So designers get to work really closely with each other across those skill sets and learn from each other. My management team is absolutely awesome, completely dedicated to human growth, and not only in themselves, of course, but their teams. We're really well set up for accessibility, design research, design systems. It's, as you can imagine, it's a massive team. In order to get scalability, we work really hard on our frameworks and getting consistency. So we have, a lot of people joining and saying, okay, I've been a designer for 10 years, but how do you design at Telstra? And we show them our frameworks. We show them our design plan. Sorry, my dog's just...
Oh, that's all right.
You want to meet Marley?
Yeah, bring it in.
No, he's been shy. So we have these frameworks that really help with that consistency. So, for example, our journey mapping framework, which we call the CARE framework, is company-wide. So not only designers use it, but developers use it, BAs use it, product owners use it. So it really helps us to again, have that common language across the whole organisation. So we're not having to kind of sell these frameworks and ideas to parts of business that are outside our realm. They're all using the same tools.
Does that help with onboarding, let's say, juniors or mids? Because it's quite a large problem right now. When you're bringing people on remotely, it's difficult to give them structure and process and actually mentor them. Do you find having set foundations to be able to train them with makes it a lot easier?
Yeah, absolutely. And our design, what we call our design plan, which is basically a tool that helps us estimate how long work will take. It's roughly based on double diamond, and you've got the gates from, team brief, research, problem framing, ideation, create, etc. And within that, there's activities and artifacts that you can do. So within research, there's 12 artifacts or activities that you can do. Of course, you're not going to do all of them for each piece of work, but we say, okay, well, this is what you can do, and if you want to add to the list, you can. But it's a great base for training. And actually, this week we've got a workshop where it's been 12 months since we've had templates for each of those artifacts, and we're going to do a refresh. So I've got all my leads coming together. They're going to grab some templates that they've produced, so competitor analysis or empathy mapping templates. They're going to bring in the best and speak to why they think their template is, should become the template, and we'll just add it to this framework, to this way of working. And it's great because then, all the juniors get to see that and they basically get the best practice. For me, it's all about scalability. It's all about bringing the best thoughts and processes into a methodology that all designers can learn from, including myself.
Very cool. Look, being mindful of your time, just wrapping this up. Like, last question. Like, design has matured a lot over the last 10 years. Is there any trends that you see emerging currently in the design space that you've got your eye on or you're excited about?
I think accessibility is key. We're definitely at Telstra, being assessed as are all telcos at the moment, and I think we're way ahead. We've had accessibility capability for 2 years now, so we're having to rethink, the way we design, even image scrolling and those types of patterns. We've had to develop new ways so that they are accessible, which is great. Design systems, again, it's kind of old news now, but it is front and center for us and improving it. So it's not so much the concept of having one; it's how does an organisation actually embrace it and train everyone in how they work, and continue the investment. But I think the biggest one for us in particular is our conversations with solution architects. Telstra has multiple platforms, multiple data banks, and these solution architects are the ones that are kind of pulling it together and producing a solution. And we need to get in early to have that conversation with them to say, okay, well, this is what the customer needs. Here's the journey. How will you make that work from a systems and platforms and data bank point of view? And we're finding that they're really engaged because that they enjoy the workshops, but also they're a bit like us where they're wanting to be heard, and they're kind of teamed up with us. But it's up again. It's we probably only have a handful of people who can have a real conversation with solution architects. In terms of detailed technical conversations, that's definitely not me. But they've been really impressed by how open we are, and they've got their own problems, and sometimes we can solve those for them too. So I think that's a huge trend for at least an organisation like Telstra, where it is so big and there's so many moving parts. That's where you drive I think the biggest value for customers when the beast works, right? So.
Yep. That's really cool. Is there many organisations actually doing it that way and getting in that early to have those conversations?
I know Origin was when I was there, and I'd say it's Michelle from ANZ. She'd be doing the same. Pete from Medibank. He's he's fairly technically minded. So I think we all realise, but it's about making the time. It's about the way of working, actually getting in early, as you said. Prioritisation is the key for us in terms of getting in and making sure that the priorities are set around what we're discovering from a customer point of view, and the architecture is a big part of that. That's where you're going to get the massive uplift. It's not, yes, absolutely, patterns do work and make things a lot easier for customers, but it's the systems working together, talking together, that makes a massive difference, and that's where you can make a huge step change. Yeah,
no, that makes perfect sense. John, that's it from me. That was really, really insightful for everything Telstra. So I really appreciate your time. Given you've got 170 plus resources, what's the best way for anyone to reach out for you if they've got any questions for you, or if they may want to be looking to get a career at Telstra at some point?
Well, they can hit me up on LinkedIn, of course, or they can go and speak to you. and you can forward their details on. So yeah, there's many avenues. So just follow those traditional ones.
Amazing.
We are we are always looking. There's always projects coming up. So yeah, come and
Amazing.
introduce yourself.
Perfect. Well, John, once again, really appreciate your time. It was really fun speaking to you. So thank you very much.
Thanks, mate. See you.
See you later.